Hi, this is Mrs. Vrobel. I'm going to start this for you to help you fill out this worksheet for review with chemical bonds. I'm going to assume that you should be able to figure out using the notes the answer for the first 5 answers. If you are stuck, you can feel free to email me. What I'm going to focus on is naming and writing formulas. So I'm going to show you examples of each, and then I want you to figure out the rest of these. So here we have sodium sulfate. And typically I do a couple different things. I look at the ending, and I also look at what is the first element that is listed in the name. Now, because sodium is a metal, I want to realize that I'm using ionic naming. Now, the other thing I notice is that it ends in ATE, so I also have a polyatomic that is part of this formula. So the first thing I want to do is I want to write the ion, and I know that sodium in the first column has a 1+ charge. Now, because I'm dealing with a polyatomic, I need to look on the list there, and I know that sulfate has a 2- charge. Now please remember, I need to do the crisscross, and I'm just bringing down the number and not the charge. I want to write Na2, and I'm not going to write parentheses because there's an understood 1 that is next to sulfur, or sulfate I should say. Okay, so let's talk about another version here. Let's look at chromium. Now, if we look at the formula, there is a transition metal there. So guess what? We need to worry about the fact that it's ionic and that, oops, sorry guys. Oh, sorry. It needs a Roman numeral. So the first thing I want to do is I want to look at what is the charge for the polyatomic. So when I look at the polyatomic, NO3 has a 1- charge. And notice that there are 3 of them. So I need to use algebra to figure out what is the charge on the metal. Now there's an understood 1 next to chromium, so it becomes a X or 1X. And when I solve for the unknown, I have a +3. So my Roman numeral is going to be Roman numeral 3. So when I name this, it's going to be chromium Roman numeral 3 nitrate. And I got the nitrate from the polyatomic ion chart. Okay. Now, notice that whenever I have a prefix, I must be dealing with covalent, because ionic does not have any prefixes. So the nice thing about this is that I just need to list the element. I know that sulfur has a symbol of S. And then I have chlorine, which is chloride. And I should know that the prefix is 6. So that is how I figure out the formula for that. Now, this one is probably one that you are not familiar with. Hydrogen, I know it's a nonmetal, and because it's a nonmetal, I know it's covalent. Now, the interesting thing is hydrogen, it actually has the following formula. It is H2. So there are certain elements, and I will list them here for you, that are what we call diatomics. So diatomics are molecules, and they are covalent. And the following are H2, N2, O2, F2, Cl2, Br2, and I2. So if you ever see an element name with one of those elements, that is what formula you need to use. Okay, and then for the last example of covalent, I noticed that I have PCl3, and PCl3 are two nonmetals, so I'm talking about a covalent name. So because they're covalent, I only want to use prefixes, and I know that the first element keeps its name, so I want to say phosphorus. And because chlorine has a subscript of 3, I'm going to say it's trichloride. Okay, so you should be able to get the rest of these. And like I said, if you want to go to your notes to answer the first 5, go ahead and do that. All right, good luck, and I will share the answers once you post them. Thanks. Bye.